teams in the past have said, hey, we weren't necessarily good friends, but we know we're all good competitors. Let's make a team and let's perform. So I'm looking out for a Super Evan squad. But let's start here, Enigma, with the former map winners. We'll see if maybe this is the team that could get their second win of the day, the only team to win twice, and maybe there's one that will do it. But Unrational, Dongi, Scummin still need a lot of work on this leaderboard to make it to the top.
Yeah, they do. They're currently sat down in 5th. I say down. That still, right now, would be worth a casual $8,000. And right now, it looks like Unrational's got a sore hand. I'm not sure what's going on there, but
he's warming it up.
yeah, as they float on over towards the suburbs here, looks like no rush in particular out of Unrational, but Scummin and Dongi look like they're just going to be lower down off to the right here. And yeah, it looks like going to be a suburbs landing for this trio, unless they fly on over. And the thing is, as we look at this trio and the fact that they are in 5th, they would need 3.5 points, no, 3.6 points to climb from an $8,000 afternoon to a $27,000 afternoon. Just to again highlight how close things are.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just thinking. It's like when you start looking at this price pool, it's so heavily skewed towards the top, as it should be, that top 3 is where you're taking home a ton of cash. And top 5 still making a lot of money, but top 3 in particular, especially first and second, so much money. And there's such a tight margin between second and all the way down to potentially even 10th place or so. So massive money exchanging hands for every single kill, and only time will tell where it actually goes. You know, there's one team that we have not seen in a long time. Team Breadman, Joewo,
yes.
Skullface. They had a great start to the tournament and have basically just been dwindling since. And I don't know what's going wrong necessarily, maybe some bad rotations or otherwise, but they've dropped down to, I believe, all the way to 11th place somehow.
Yeah, they have slowly disappeared off of our screens a little bit. I feel like we've seen them at points start mid games, but clearly those mid games aren't working out very well. Actually, early game might not work out very well for one. The squad that I called out as the hot take to potentially win it all. They've got a lot of work to do right now if that's going to become realistic. A lot of work right now in the lobby to stay up. Wars will get himself back on in, but you're very worried about the pressure that's coming in at the minute. And Vision will get picked up as well. So problems here as bullets get rained down from above. And there's some straight shots out of Oki, but it might not be enough to cover his teammates as they're getting pushed on.
Great beams down range. And unfortunately, all you're going to do is deplete the resources of your opponent. Really no other boon aside from that. Still throwing some warning shots down with an early UAV in pocket. Then get some information, try to make a play. Unfortunately, Wars can't do so by himself. And, well, their bounty is the team in first place, Shifty, Sage, Biffle, likely the ones that potentially are right around the corner, but maybe not the team that is actually killing them. That's Crinks taking down Wars, which means Aydan's squad is also in this area. And yes, they might be in 20th place, but it doesn't negate the expertise and prowess they can have on this map when things start going their way. One of the best trios out there winning their qualifier. Not a team you like to fight, especially a man down.
No, well, I think as we just play out through this gulag, and the shock will catch, but Wars will stay up for just enough. The shotgun does not finish it off. He will go down. We move into the next one. Adrian up against Oak Boy, and he will just about stay up and just should not have won that, but it's a great snap through the hipfire transition onto Aydan and Wars now.
A big 1v1 into the gulag here for two teams in totally different positions. One trying to hold on to their top leaderboard spot, and the other team trying to make a massive moment out of a tough tournament, and Aydan does get the better of him. Night vision gulag, doesn't matter. One hand clenched almost into a fist. The other one gripping tight on the edge of his weapon, just hip firing and getting the elimination. Aydan's team essentially just needs to fly at everyone they can see. So all three already being sent to the gulag is not surprising. All three winning their gulag, maybe a bit of a turn of luck that they needed to creep their way into potentially the top 10.
A huge play there out of Aydan to keep his team's map hopes alive. And one of the things you kind of pointed out there was a lot of great teams all in the same area. I wonder if that's part of Team Aydan's struggle so far this afternoon. But we move on over to Beam, Sin, OP Mark, so the squad that actually won map 2, albeit only with 8 kills, 16 points for them. A squad that have slowly trickled down the leaderboard, sat in 12th, but another one of our teams that could definitely, with a really solid game, jump themselves all the way up into that top 2 spot. Rated to call the PA in above him, worried about the height around them. And as they get ready to push this and stack these stairs. Nades will come back at them, sending them packing.
Yeah, would have loved to see a knock here. That's what they were hoping for, at least. Looks like they've got a third, potentially already inside. A tough grenade, though. It's going to force them out of the building. Mortar strike falling. Team running. Got some red dots to follow. They're going to be on the chase. Nothing to write home about yet. Just barely eking out into cover. Autorize and Rated chasing you. It's like sharks in the water. Piranhas hunting for blood. They will find you eventually, and find you they do. One goes down. That's Castillo going down. That's on the side of Deus Amir, who's also another team that's been very, very quiet today after a sizable, weak performance. I think it was last week with you and I.
And did indeed have a huge performance. Breadman up against Enxian here in the Gulag. Breadman is currently sat in 11th. Whereas London Co sat just behind in 13th. So a huge moment here between them. 4 seconds left to rope. Breadman's just going to check around, essentially flipping of sides here. The Latvian is going to be pressed in behind the box as Breadman just continues to probe away. The rope is down, so he's just going to bait it out for now. But plenty of bullets come on back. Bread left with just a sliver of health. He will try and play the rope. Oh my goodness me! He manages to get on out. Enxian thought he was coming back for more, but Bread will just say, "See you later, boys. I'm going back to my game."
No kill, but your life. You take those trades when you have to. Lofo in a blender, but Breadman able to sneak his way out of the Gulag as we swap over to our former map winners with Unrational getting some early eliminations. This is a big one, especially to save Dongi. Still 2 up. If Scummy can win this Gulag, have a free and clear fly back in, this team should be doing well to work their way up the leaderboard yet again.
They're currently sat in 5th, so a huge map here could make a massive difference in the amount of money they take. Oh, good lord, just about pulls it off. That was a very risky push in the end. We'll come back on in. You can tell by the look on Scumman's face just how close that was, but he's already up to 3, by the way. This team heavily engaged over by this side, and we've seen them in earlier lobbies constantly playing out this shopping center and contesting actually Savvy Ultras and Co, making their life very difficult ever since their map 1 victory.
That was a wild Gulag win. Haven't seen a jump shot, 1-shot pistol kill in the Gulag with a sliver of health left in a long time. That was fun. But we'll swap over to the tournament supposed winners should things continue their way. Again, they're up 27 points on second place right now. And my hot take was that there's a chance they could win over second by 50, especially if the teams through 2nd through 10th that are all so close together fight each other, go down early. It's well within reason that this team could drop another banger map and go up by an unreasonable amount of points. And I will say, as much of it as it is a hot take here, Enigma, they did it on land. I mean, if you remember, I know you do, they won by over 70 points. This is the final form of Sage, Shifty, and Biffle that we've been waiting for. We didn't really see it at all during the qualifiers, and they're finally seeing it now. And unfortunately, our consistent team, now in a blender, that's Mutex squad with Knight actually grabbing a couple eliminations early.
It is indeed. Super Evan sends the go, and it looked like his team were only on about 2 kills, so not the start they would have wanted, especially once you start to burn through your safety net. As we hop back on then to Biffle and Co. You were right. They absolutely dominated our World Series of Warzone finals, and this is the kind of form that starts to scare everyone else in the Warzone scene, right? When they looked like they were off color in the qualifiers, other teams started to see a crack in the armor, perhaps a slightly open door. Well, if they suddenly start to take on final form, everyone else is essentially playing for second. It's 2023 all over again. And for now, this is one of the things. They look quite comfortable in where they're playing, rotating in from, playing out that village. Then they hit over here towards Palace and just set up ready for whatever rotation's got to come next. This seems to be their formula so far. And whatever it was they had to figure out in qualifiers, it seems to be all sorted now.
We've got Colors back on main stage after a nice performance there at the end of qualifiers leading up to this tournament. They've been doing a fairly consistent job today as well inside the top 10 or so. We're going to have a chance to peek into Super Evan's Gulag.
Very nice.
And see what he can do, because this is a pretty big moment for that team as well. Again, that's the team in second, but only by a hair. And Super Evan's going to try to leverage anything that he can get. He's going to use that Gulag, grab another elimination, as Colors does the same here on the bridge. That's a free kill on Beam.
Tell you what, I've got to give props to our production there. That playing picture-in-picture was absolutely beautiful. Anyway, Colors, empathy, attract.
To earn thousands of dollars for themselves. you run in this team, you almost just want to run away. I mean, this is Mutex squad on the other side. This is a big moment. That was Knight going down. Mutex was a team that was finally on the rise, finally pulling themselves out of the middle of the pack to potentially the top 10. And they're getting knocked by Biffle's team. And now with player advantage, you can only imagine Biffle's team will win that. Back to the blender that is Joewo, Breadman, and Skullface. Bread down yet again. You can kind of see the size of dismay. They've got to get something going this map. Try to creep their way up this prize pool. It's certainly still doable. They're still in like top 15 for sure. I think they're in 11th place overall. They've got an opportunity to go big. They've done it in the past. Unfortunately, the entire onus of responsibility is on Skullface, and he's just barely around the rock, and it's not enough. Can he get the self-revive off? They're not close enough to pressure him with their bodies, but still having an angle. Look at the frustration on Skullface's face. This is just a tough day in the office for the boys, and I think that's all she wrote for that team. I believe that's a team wipe for 24th place, which just means they won't move up this leaderboard hardly at all, if not move down. Likely still top half, but not the tournament they were hoping for.
Yeah, absolutely. You've called it spot on. That likely then a top half finish for one of the teams that we thought could well and truly contest for the top spot. It's a tough afternoon for three of Warzone's brightest. Rated here. Seems... I'm not sure if it's frustration coming through at having to hold and not fly at something, or perhaps a call from a good teammate that he just doesn't agree with, but he's now calling out that they can just ring out bullets, and goodness me, this squad just drags Stu down. And as they finish that one off and continue to just hold this body of water, and this is how Urzikstan is playing when it comes to these zones that force teams to rotate on over these bodies of water or bridges, it becomes a death trap for anyone who dares. Authorized calls in a PA. Not sure if I agree with that call, but for now, this team who sit in fourth just have made 2.2 points off second. Put that into context, you're more than doubling your prize money with that exchange of places.
That's a great call out. There's so much on the line, especially for the teams already inside the top 10. See, Mayapo is actually kind of playing off by himself, finally creeping his way back to his team. He actually picked up Braxton off screen, by the way, with Super Evan Squad, a team in second place, one of the teams they're in hot contention with for that $27,000 second place prize pool, right? So a lot of money exchanging hands there in particular. And look who else is falling. Savvy Ultra's inside the top 10, getting wiped by another team inside the top 10. That was Noobs wiping Savvy. Not sure it's a full team wipe, but Savvy himself down. And they're going to take down the drone, so at least only one will be able to take it. Don't think they'll get a pick for it, but at the very least strand his teammates to potentially pick up a couple picks here on the edge of zone. They're just lurking here because they can. It's a great spot to be in. It's inside of zone, and it looks like there's still enough people around where it's worth their time.
Yeah, teams that are in great spots as well. This is Oki, Wars, and Vision cleaning out Old Town, and that will be Z-Smith heading away. And we spoke a little bit about it before. Team Tommy having a really tough afternoon for whatever reason. They have been having ups and downs, and Oki struggling with a window there. Does indeed manage to get on out. However, next circle will pull everyone away from this area. So if you are Oki, Wars, Vision, you came into this map, you were sat in 7th, you've won map 4, but right now you've got to rotate across what is a dreaded body of water, and we know that at least Rated and Co are waiting on a set of rooftops to catch you coming across. So how do they approach this? It's going to be a very tough demand for this squad, and we're only at 20 teams, Goj. We're only at our 1.1 times multiplier.
Yeah, I think they take a wider wrap around the water to the edges of it to make it a shorter commute, as it were, to the circle, but we'll see. And you're right, Tommy team fully eliminated, so any hopes of them pulling off a miracle play, if you're a fan of Tommy, Huskerrs, and Z-Smith, apparently all of those hopes have dashed. But as we tune in here with Noobs, again, a team that's been lurking inside the top 5, now top 10 or so, trying to make a move here in the final moments, have several teams ahead of them. It's funny because this feels like a somewhat earlier on-time rotate, but in a customs like this, they are late. We'll see what they can do, but on the other side of the water, here's Oki, Vision, Wars. They have kind of lurked around to the left-hand side. A shorter commute, sure, to the circle, but still not a less precarious one. They've got a little bit of high ground to get some info, but otherwise, we run across this island. I mean, yeah, sure, you can get there a little bit quicker, but you might want to use the water for cover and maybe swim this instead. I mean, this island doesn't have any cover. You're a sitting duck.
Well, the problem is as well here, the water's even shallower. So we know that you take a lot more damage in the water than you did back in Urzikstan. There's a random Hummer sat in the water as well as Oki swims underneath it. But there's just so much damage. The Hummer actually blows up. Oki takes a lot of that to the back. That's Flak that's going to crack his plates. He does have some available to him when he manages to get on out. But they were being spotted here. They were getting shot at. So he needs time. Will manage to slot in the plates. But you've still got to keep moving. Gas is going to continue to shove you on forward. You've got to now climb up and out. There's going to be players all around this area, no doubt, because they were getting shots at moments ago, and Oki just about stays up. Wars and Vision above. Oki split off. This is a difficult position for the EU trio.
We knew this rotation would be difficult. There's too much open space. They've made it to some semblance of cover, but just for a moment. There's people up top, and grenades connect, which just may give Oki enough cover to push to the bottom of the building. Low ground position only pays off once in a blue moon, and right now, it might be a blue moon. He's able to creep inside. The problem is, again, still inside the woods because, well, there's several above, but no, they give him a free one. They didn't think it was Lola on the other side. They didn't think he had made it to the building yet. A perfectly well-placed grenade gives him position inside the building. He's last alive, dead silence in hand. He's going to grab the loot where he can get it and then rotate out without them being able to hear. A massive play from Oki as he readdresses the fight from another angle, finds one inside, but he's not done yet. Swings back the other way, trying to catch somebody unawares and says, this fight not be for me. I'm going to try to get out. He's going to get to the next building, but he might go down. Just barely still alive. Couple plates in hand. Is able to put them in. It finds one, finds two. No, can't get anyone. That was an absurd sequence. He played his life the best way he knew how, but does not come out alive. Great effort from the kid.
Yeah, it very nearly delivers on why we've considered him one of the... What on earth? Brolic gets caught in the gas and then gets cleaned up by someone else. We're also finding out, by the way, that Scarman's team have gone out in 20th position. They were 6th coming into this, so we're starting to check a couple of names off the board here. Team Wars potentially push themselves up to 3rd with the updated leaderboard. Rated now falls. Otterized in trouble in the back, and all of a sudden, we're seeing so many big names collapse.
Yes, that is exact squad getting ripped out at about 12th place or so. But look who's still alive on the other side. This is Team Noobs with Ahsoka Almond, at least alive for, well, milliseconds before we hop in. Almond able to play potentially the trades. But as we hang out here on Ahsoka's perspective, grenades, smokes, and everything in between lasting. We're into the final 10, though. We have made it to a 1.5x multiplier as the chaos continues to ensue.
Yeah, this team currently sat in 2nd, by the way. We get a picture-in-picture of the team sat in 4th. So both teams here that are vying out for all the money we've spoken about throughout this afternoon. So much of it at stake in what is going to be a couple of tight gunfights. Soka wants to check the wall, perhaps jumps over someone. There might be players even above them here.
A tiny sliver of hair alive, just so little health, but unfortunately gets wiped. Team at the top goes down, probably not going to fulfill my take, but still a sizable game. Into the top 7, the team, the only team that can likely surpass them with a monster map is the team on your screen. I am getting word Biffle's team had 15 kills in total, so I don't think it's possible, but the team on your screen, Almond and Ahsoka, have likely around the same number and a chance to play for the top. No, 15 kills exactly, matching the team at the top, but they get the same multiplier. Who will win the final map, and how many thousands of dollars will they win because of it? Swisham is last alive for her team.
Swisham & Co, by the way, picked up map 3 and a couple of kills here. This could well lift them into the top 5. Swisham here is in big trouble. The gas will force her back. She's looking for anything that will help her survive this ordeal. Potentially no masks, but there will be a stim. It will heal her up, give her the movement boost, but someone was already waiting for her. She gets cut down. Super Evan, DJ Mask still up. Never mind. Super Evan falls. DJ Mask is somewhere nearby trying to provide support. Super Evan will try and get off the red. Does not happen. Blink CJ, that is a name we have not seen so much this afternoon. And we switch on over toward Testy, who've picked up 15 kills and likely your 1.5 times multiplier.
What's wild because of the delays here, Enigma, I think this is the team that actually might have won.
Wait.
I think we saw top 7 and then we didn't have any other perspectives and we had to go to the winners. FaZe Testy Squad somehow in the chaos of the final seconds was able to wipe the final squads and grab a 30-point victory. I loved every moment of the final end game until we missed it because of perspectives. Still a massive win, though. 30-point victory from Testy's squad means they're going to...
Let's see what happened.
Who are your champions? Is it Diazbiffle? Yes, it is. Is it by 50 points? Not quite, but it's almost by 30. A massive victory, 45,000 $40,000 going to your World Series of Warzone champions. Yes, they're World Series of Warzone champions, but now they are Shatter Gauntlet champions, winning 45 grand, a ridiculous feat. And somehow, some way, Team Noobs have held on to their positions inside the top 3, as have Super Evan, 98.3 and 93.9 respectively, with Colors in 4th and Rated in 5th. Enigma, what a day.
What a day indeed. We spoke about it right at the top of the show. Probably the most competitive Warzone lobby we have ever seen. 30 teams that all earned their way here through a grueling gauntlet, playing off here in the finals, testing